You're on a beach. Crystal blue water, seagulls, paradise. Then suddenly, the water vanishes. Not a ripple, just wet sand. If that sounds like the setup for a horror movie, it kind of is. Hi, I'm Shelby, Chief Officer Safety, part-time wave whisperer, and full-time explainer of why calm seas can still wreck your plans. Today we're diving into one of the most devastating, fastest-moving, and least understood natural disasters on Earth. Let's go deep. Figuratively, because literally going deep right now would be bad. A tsunami isn't a regular wave. It's not caused by wind, tides, or a dolphin that sneezed too hard. It's caused by displacement. Something shoves a ridiculous amount of water out of place, and the ocean reacts by pushing it somewhere else. Fast. A tsunami is a series of waves, not just one. The word tsunami comes from Japanese. Tsu means harbor, nami means wave. Literally harbor wave, because that's where people saw the devastation. In deep water, they're almost invisible, less than a meter high but hundreds of kilometers long. Think of it like the ocean tripping over its own shoelaces and landing on your coastline. Here are some facts about tsunamis. Speed tsunamis can travel as fast as 900 kilometers per hour in deep water. That's about the cruising speed of a Boeing 747. Height, in open ocean, may be 30 to 60 centimeters. Near the coast, they can surge up to 30 meters or more. Wavelength. Regular waves are about 100 meters apart. Tsunami waves can be up to 500 kilometers apart. That means it might take an hour for the next wave to arrive. And it could be bigger than the first. And each wave contains more energy than 100 hurricanes. It's not the splash, it's the shove. Tsunamis move entire towns like Lego. What are the main causes of tsunamis? Undersea earthquakes are the most common cause. Subduction zones are where one tectonic plate dives beneath another. When stress builds up and suddenly releases, boom. If the seafloor lifts or drops by just a few meters, it can shift trillions of liters of water instantly. For example, the 2004 Indian Ocean quake was magnitude 9.1, and the 2011 Japan quake was magnitude 9.0. Landslides can happen above or below water. Think of a mountain slope crashing into a fjord, or the seafloor slipping underwater. Lituya Bay, Alaska, in 1958, the wave reached 524 meters, still the tallest tsunami ever recorded. It stripped trees off mountainsides. One boat survived, just one. Volcanic eruptions can also trigger tsunamis. Explosive eruptions can displace water or trigger landslides. Underwater eruptions mean pressure release and collapse. Hunga Tonga in 2022, the eruption triggered atmospheric pressure waves. The tsunami hit as far away as Peru, and waves bounced around the globe for over a week. Meteor strikes are super rare, but if one hits the sea, you get what scientists call an impact tsunami. Hypothetical models show waves hundreds of meters high near the impact site, followed by global chaos. So yes, space rocks can ruin your beach day too. So how tsunamis behave? Tsunamis don't break, they surge. The water level rises like a tide on steroids, and it happens fast, really violent. The first wave is often not the largest. It's just the warm-up act. There's this thing called the drawback phenomenon. The ocean can recede dramatically before some tsunamis. People sometimes see fish flopping around and, well, they run out to investigate. Don't. That's the sea inhaling before it punches you in the face. And here's the kicker about wave trains. They can last for several hours, with gaps between waves that might be minutes or honestly even an hour. It's like being punched by a ghost with a grudge and a schedule. Ships in deep water usually feel nothing, see nothing, and don't get swamped or flipped. Why is that? Because the wave passes beneath with little surface disruption. That's why, oddly enough, the best place to be during a tsunami is often farther out to sea. Definitely not near shore. Where do they hit and why? High-risk tsunami zones? Think the Pacific Ring of Fire, the Indian Ocean, the Mediterranean, and the Caribbean. Subduction zones are key here. If your coastline is facing a known plate boundary, especially one with historical tsunami activity, you're in what we call the splash zone. Megathrust quakes, the biggest of the big, are usually the culprits. Here's a fun fact. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center tracks hundreds of undersea quakes every year, but only a few of them actually result in tsunamis. What tsunami detection and warnings are in place? Dart buoys are these clever systems that combine seafloor sensors with a surface relay to give us real-time ocean pressure readings. Seismic networks, on the other hand, help detect undersea earthquakes. Satellites now even track surface water shifts from space, which is pretty amazing. The warning time you get really depends. If the quake is distant, you might have hours, but if it's local, you could only have minutes or even seconds. If you live in a tsunami zone and wait for a text alert, I hope your running shoes are waterproof. In Thailand, back in 2004, a British schoolgirl actually recognized the sea pulling back from what she learned in geography class, and she warned people. So many lives were saved that day. In Japan, 2011, earthquake sirens gave folks 10 to 30 minutes of warning, but unfortunately, the seawalls just weren't high enough. Then in Indonesia, 2018, Anak Krakatoa collapsed and the tsunami came without an earthquake. It was deadly, and no one saw it coming. Knowledge saves lives, Google saves lives, geography class, absolute hero material. Here are some survival tips. Simple but vital. First off, know if you're in a tsunami hazard zone. If you feel an earthquake near the coast, don't wait. Get uphill. It's so important to learn evacuation routes in advance and honestly, practice with your family. Make it a weird game if you have to. Remember, distance equals safety. Every vertical meter counts. Every second counts. Water doesn't wait. Tsunamis aren't about panic. They're about preparation. No one can stop them, but knowing what to do gives you a massive head start. This channel exists to help you learn before it's too late. So hit subscribe to the Cruise Ship Safety and Security channel, where we break down the worst the ocean can throw at you, and show you how to stay safe, stay smart, and yeah, sometimes laugh about it later. Watch next, Lightning versus the Sea. The ocean controls the jet stream, and how the sea warps the earth. I'm Shelby. The sea doesn't play fair, so let's play smart.